Hello guys, I'm happy to see you again. Today we're going to talk about a nice topic, which is traveling. Jingle. I've been able to travel a lot since I'm a young dude. Traveled all around Europe, seeing mainly capitals and main cities in Europe, a bit of the USA. But today I wanted to emphasize travel as something a bit different, not going for holidays for 1 or 2 weeks, but actually staying in a new place for more than 3 months, even 6 months. So that's the that's the most I've traveled in my life. So 6 months is abroad in a row, and it was amazing, very fulfilling, and I want to share with you what I learned from this experience. So to give you a bit of background story, I went to a French private uni called ESCA, and in our third year we have this amazing opportunity to go abroad, either doing an internship for 6 months or going to a partner university anywhere in the world. And I was lucky enough to have the opportunity to go to Australia. So I was accepted for 6 months in the Australian National University in Canberra, and I've been studying there. I have studied there for actually 4 months, and because as an exchange student you don't have that much lectures, I've been able to really enjoy the life out there, travel a lot, see the world, meet new people, and I want to share with you what really I learned from this experience. So the first point was that it was the first time for me living away from my parents and my family. I've had some quick span where I wasn't with my family, of course, but it wasn't for that long. So it was like 1 week, 2 weeks, then coming back home, etc., etc. So it was always short cycles. Here it was the first time where I traveled like it's 21 hours of. It's a journey of 21 hours to go from Paris to Melbourne, to give you an example, and Canberra it's around 22 to 23 hours with the layoff. So you can't go back for a weekend and then go back to uni. It's impossible. So for me, it was the first time in 2018 that I was able to go away from my family and try something new in a different country, with a different culture, with different people. And I learned to manage myself, so take responsibility for my actions. I learned to handle a budget, handle my travel plans. To give you another example, it was the first time that I went on a plane trip. It wasn't a road trip because I didn't have my driving license at the time, but it was the first time I actually planned a trip on my own for was something like 10 days before joining a friend in Melbourne after that for a week. So I spent basically 2 weeks and a half on holidays, but 10 days on my own. So yeah, it was quite a bit of a scary experience at first, going to the airport alone, going to a city I didn't know with nobody around. So I'm going to show you on the map, but I went from Canberra to Brisbane to Cairns, Cairns to Gold Coast, Gold Coast to Adelaide, and Adelaide to Melbourne to finish my holidays before going back to Canberra for school. And what I learned from these holidays were mainly that I was able to travel alone, and I had a great time doing so. It was actually one of the first times I realized that because I had only a headset and not AirPods or just these quick little things with cables, I wasn't able to wear comfortably a hat because the weather was kind of hot. It was very warm over there, and music at the same time. So I had to choose, and I chose the hat because it was impossible for me to go outside without a hat. So it was the first time I went visiting a place without any music and just, sing around, etc., etc. And it was very fulfilling for me. It was a very fulfilling experience and eye-opening as well, because I was able to focus more on where I was at, where I was looking for other opportunities, learning about the place I was in. So the first time I went to Cairns, I wanted just to visit the city, and I didn't realize, because I didn't really before what was in the city or above the city. So what's interesting to do in this area is to go to Cairns like 1 or 2 days, and then move north to see the rainforest and to see the wild animals. If you want to go see crocodiles, it's over there. So you can go there and enjoy this area. And I didn't know that, but I took the time to take part in a snorkeling adventure to see the Great Barrier Reef, and it was amazing. Put a few things, I think, video stuff to illustrate that, but it was an amazing experience. Then I went to Gold Coast. The aim was to, I heard from a friend over there that the city exists. I didn't even know it existed. So I said, you know what, let's go, fuck it. Apparently there was also the Commonwealth Games in 2018 here, so I was in Gold Coast. I didn't watch the games because I wasn't there for long enough, unfortunately. But it was great to, see a different city, visit it on my own, learn from places I should go to. So I went to Kalungada, I went to Surfers Paradise later on, and I went to Burleigh Heads, I think. But it was amazing. It was, great beach. I swam a bit. Was great to see the weather, new city, etc., and just visit, being on my own. Then I went to Adelaide, so I went mainly to Glenelg and the city center. I stayed there for 2 days, and it was also amazing to meet someone new, because I usually stayed at hostels or Airbnbs with people renting just a room. So it was amazing to have someone to talk to, enhance my English, and learn a bit more about people, what they do, what they advise me also to do, because as I said, I didn't really try to know what to do before actually going to the city. So it was very great and fulfilling. And then I went to Melbourne to end my holidays, and I've loved Melbourne when I arrived there in January 2018, and I came back quite a lot during my stay in Canberra, because the place was amazing, and I just wanted to enjoy it as long as I possibly could, because I didn't know what the future would hold, and I still hope I can go back there someday. What I want to say by that is, all this journey, this trip I had in Australia made me realize a lot of things. First, I can handle myself, and even though I wasn't, and I'm still not financially independent, I can manage a budget and do things I want to do. Secondly, I'm curious and extroverted enough to meet new people, talk to them, and learn from them. And thirdly, I'm good enough and I'm caring enough to meet new people and stay in relationship with them even today. So I'm still in contact with a lot of friends I met at uni, and still talking and getting some news time to time to see how they're doing and how was the COVID crisis for them, etc., etc. I wanted to talk about travel because for me this experience was also the beginning of my self-improvement journey, and we often say that when you try to improve something, it's not about you reaching your objectives, it's about what you do to reach your objectives. It's about the journey and the travel in itself. So that's why I wanted to try to compare both concepts, what happened to me during my travelings, my travels, what I learned from these experiences, and overall what I learned, what I did, and how it helped me in building more confidence in myself, and it helped me in the way I handle myself nowadays. So being without anyone to really supervise you, etc., it's different, and it means that you have to, it's a risk to take, and it's very rewarding when you manage to get the best out of it and you realize you can get even more. And one of the frustration I had coming back was that I felt like I could do more, and that's something I'm still struggling with as a self-improvement madman. Knowing that I'm doing things, but I want to do more and I want to do better. And I managed to deal with that feeling by just letting it go, accepting it and letting it go. And that's why I'm trying to do today with my life. When I feel like something, I regret not doing something, or I tried something, it failed and I feel rejected, or I didn't do something properly and I feel bad about myself and I'm starting to shame myself. I'm trying to understand where this comes from, and I start to let it go, because it's temporary, and life is fluid, and what you feel in a second will maybe disappear in another. So that's alright, you can feel that way, I can feel that way, it's alright, and then move on to something else and new experiences and new travels, basically. So being curious enough, mindful enough to discover new things, be curious, and just enjoy your journey in life and your life travels. I hope you followed me along the way. I hope you also like this video. Please, if you liked it, like, subscribe, comment down below if you have traveled. What did you learn during your travels? And I'll see you next week. Bye bye.